Welcome to Portsmouth Insights, your window on economic development here in Portsmouth. I'm your host, Rob Lauer. Exciting changes have recently come to Midtown Portsmouth, with more on the way in the coming months. On this episode, we'll look at one of them. We'll also visit one of the oldest retail businesses in Midtown, one established in the 1940s. And we'll visit one of the oldest neighborhoods in Midtown, a neighborhood which is also one of the most beautiful in the city, Waterview. All of this and much more coming up on this episode of Portsmouth Insights. Welcome to Portsmouth Insights. The Midtown corridor of Portsmouth, once known as Mid-City, was for decades the city's retail center. But this changed by the 1980s as indoor shopping malls dominated retail not only locally but nationally. In recent years, however, Midtown has enjoyed a revival with the opening along Frederick Boulevard of big retailers such as Bayside Harley-Davidson and Walmart, and of eateries such as Chick-fil-A and IHOP. More changes began last December with the groundbreaking for a new Kroger marketplace on the site of the original Norcom High School.
1, 2, 3, hey!
Construction continued over the next 10 months, and on Wednesday morning, October 15th, Kroger employees, city officials, community leaders, and crowds of eager shoppers gathered outside the store at 6:45 a.m. for the grand opening. We were there too with their cameras, as store manager Terry Lucas and Mayor Kenny Wright officiated over the ribbon-cutting ceremony.
We are so pleased to be here this morning to open this brand new, beautiful Kroger store, and we're thrilled to have everyone here to make this such a wonderful event for Portsmouth. Give yourselves a big round of applause.
Great day for the city of Portsmouth, and more importantly, this Midtown corridor. All of the great things that are happening here. We've got a fabulous team. Our entire city council is here. I see our EDA department, our board of directors for the economic development, our management team's here, PRHA. I see everybody here. Yeah. I want to thank all of you for coming. This is a great day in the city of Portsmouth. I want to thank Kroger and their folks for the fabulous opportunity that not only you're bringing here to the Midtown corridor, but the city of Portsmouth. You are the #1 grocer in the country, correct?
Yes.
All right, right here in Portsmouth. This is the second marketplace store in the Hampton Roads region. Now, the first store we opened up about a year ago in Virginia Beach. That's right. And our good old Portsmouth boy here was the manager. Come on over here, manager. That's right. I was proud to be at the beach at the first store, to see a good Portsmouth guy running that store. Now we've got Mr. Lucas here going to run this one, Terry. That's right. Headed up for his team. This 124,000 square foot facility has everything that you can think of. And we're excited, and I'm going to be short because we want to get in there and see it all. But more importantly, before we cut this ribbon and go in, there is a I.C. Norcom room that we're going to dedicate. Where are our Greyhounds at? All right. You all know this is the former I.C. Norcom Greyhound site, and this site sat idle for about 10 years, where today we say good morning to this corner. We're waking this place up. We're bringing the corridor back to life. This is a huge component. From here to Walmart to Chick-fil-A, all the way down. See what we're doing in this great city to bring vibrancy back to these corridors. So to Kroger, I want to thank each and every one of you. Where are the employees? Hands up. Hands up, employees. That's right. All right.
With that, let's get this store open. Thank you all very much.
All right. Sure. All right, on the count of 3, this is teamwork. You go down and coming up, okay? All right, 1, 2, 3.
After the ribbon cutting, I caught up with store manager Terry Lucas. So, how does it feel? The store's finally opened.
It feels wonderful to be here and to have the doors open and the customers rolling in. It's very very humbling.
So the process, how long has this taken to go from point A to point Z?
We actually broke ground, I believe, in December, and here it is October, and we just opened the doors 10 minutes, well, half an hour ago, and it has just one step after the other, from the dirt to the bricks to the roof to it's done.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So how many people do you have employed now?
Right now we're at about 335 associates. We'll end up with right at 350 to 360 at some point in time. That is all pretty much net new. We didn't transfer a large amount of our other associates. We just built this one from the ground up, and we didn't want to hurt the other stores. We wanted to bring it to this community.
So how is a Kroger Marketplace different from just a regular Kroger store?
Marketplace offers more of what customers honestly have asked us to do, and we have spent a lot of time researching that process through customer feedback. We actually laid the store out with a flow in mind of how the customers told us that they wanted it, and to make it an easier shopping experience for them, so they didn't have to go all over the store looking for it. Each marketplace is actually a little bit different than the other one. We changed them up. One of the big differences you'll see in this one is the apparel is located in the front of the store, and our seasonal aisle is located in the back of the store. And another interesting, we have dual drive-through pharmacy lanes on this one too.
I noticed too that there's actually, like, it's called the little clinic. There's actually a clinic here.
Yes. And it's right near the pharmacy.
That's amazing.
So you can actually go in there and get your flu shots. They can do x-rays. They can do physicals for jobs or for students. And they can refer you.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and it actually opened today too.
Now, we know that Kroger is one of the most generous companies in the country. I understand that today you actually presented some checks to some organizations?
Yes, we actually got out into the community several months before the store opened. We met with every local official that we possibly could, and they have all been very receptive to us. And we named 4 civic groups or groups here in the community, and they received a $2,000 check from the Kroger company based upon what they plan to do with it and be a part of this community. They're the ones here.
Oh, congratulations again on the opening. I know you're busy. I'll let you get going, but thanks so much for taking time to talk to us. In addition to Kroger Marketplace, outlets from major retail and food chains are under construction at the site. Bruce Berlin is Senior Vice President for Real Estate Services at Ellis Gibson Development Group. He spoke at last December's groundbreaking, and he was also present for October's ribbon cutting. After the ceremony, I spoke to him about the new businesses opening at the site in the coming months. Well, thanks for taking time to speak to us this morning, Mr. Berlin.
Morning, Rob.
So what do you think about this?
Oh, this is an exciting day. We're really excited to be part of the Kroger project here in the Midtown area of Portsmouth.
Tell us a little bit about what your company and what they are bringing to this area.
Well, we've formed a company, Midtown Marketplace LLC, which is comprised of the principals of Commercial Real Estate Services and Ellis Gibson Development. And we've bought the portion of this land that's not been purchased by Kroger to develop a retail component here in Portsmouth.
And what types of retail are we talking about?
We have a national big box store, we have an electronics store, a beauty supply store, a sporting goods, women's fashion, a fast food in Wendy's that's under construction behind us, as well as a Dunkin' Donuts.
This is not your first time doing this, of course.
Oh no, we've developed about 3 million square feet of retail, big projects in the region, Hilltop Marketplace in Virginia Beach, Red Mill Commons in Virginia Beach, and several others.
If you were to give a guesstimate of the sort of economic impact this would have on this area, how would you address that?
I can't speak to the Kroger, but our portion is an $8.5 million investment that'll bring probably 200 jobs right here to this location. We have begun construction just north of the Kroger. We'll turn over to tenants in, say, April of 2015, and they'll open 60, 90 days after that.
All right. That sounds exciting. Thanks for joining us and telling us about it.
Thank you, Rob. Appreciate it.
It's clear that the Midtown area of Portsmouth is on its way to becoming one of the city's major retail centers. When we return to Portsmouth Insights, we'll visit one of the first stores ever built in Midtown, one that's been in business since the 1940s, Norfolk County Feed and Seed. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
A whole new world of imagination opens before their eyes. The Children's Museum of Virginia, Old Town Portsmouth.
It's no fairy tale that the right fit means everything, especially when it comes to car seats. Always choose one that's the right fit for your child's age and size.
That does make a difference.
To find out more, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
Welcome back to Portsmouth Insights. We've been looking at the current return of major retail and food chains to Midtown Portsmouth. There have been many changes in the area over the past 6 decades, and one retail establishment has seen them all. Norfolk County Feed and Seed at 1110 Airline Boulevard opened in the 1940s. I dropped by to talk to the store's owner, Tommy Heath, to learn more about the store and its history, and to learn his perspective on the past, present, and future of Midtown Portsmouth. Tommy, thanks for having us here at Norfolk County Feed and Seed.
Glad to have you.
Now, tell us a little bit about the history of the store. I grew up in Portsmouth. I'm older than I care to admit, and I remember this always being here my entire life.
My dad and a young fellow named Frank Dolman started the store here in 1947, and right after that, Dad bought Frank out of it. We lived on top of the store until I was 9 years old. I went to West Haven School till 3rd grade, then we moved out to the farm. But it started in a 15 by 30 building in the front of the store, which is still the wooden floor in the front of the store. Mm-hmm. And my dad said if he filled it up and emptied it out every day, we'd starve to death, so we had to get bigger or quit. We've been blessed over the years, and we've added on the greenhouse and the warehouses and stuff like that. It started originally as a feed store. Mm-hmm. Okay, that was the major thing. Now the feed business is more bird seed and with them allowing chickens in Portsmouth now, we started selling a lot more chicken feed, that type of thing. And it's surprising how many people like raising raising animals like that.
You were literally selling feed and seed earlier on. So the business has evolved over the decades.
We're really kind of a general store, if you will.
It has a feeling of that. I remember coming here as a small child and buying little packets of radish seeds and carrot seeds for my garden. I mean, certainly out here, this feels more like a nursery.
Yeah. We've had greenhouses since I was 9 years old, and I'm much older than that now. A lot of our business is, especially in the spring and the fall, spring gardening, fall gardening. Every day I'll have someone come in, and say, what is this and what do I do to it? And after you've been here for just so long and you've seen a lot of this stuff, it gets easier to do.
How has your customer base changed, or has it changed over the decade?
It has, in the fact that there's not as many farmers, if you will, come in. Our customer base tends to be younger. Mm-hmm. A lot of them are grandchildren that their grandparents used to bring them in here when we first started out, and they're more aware. They have more media available. Okay, if you go online, you can look things up and you can have answers in a hurry. Or if you have a smartphone, you have an app. You can, there's so many things you can do. And when they come in, it seems like they're either more prepared to discuss what's going on, or if you give them some references, they're often gone. There's a lot of times I just go over, sit down at the computer. Someone will come in and say, this and this and this happened. I'll say, does it look like this? And they go, that's it. And and again, I use the word credibility a lot. That gives credibility to the answer that we're given. Right. Okay? The basic people are the same. They're kind. People want to know things. They're looking for help, and that's what we try to do.
It's interesting. You think of a feed and seed store as being in a rural area. Mm-hmm. Okay, what was this area like? Well, back in the late '40s when this was built.
When Dad first started the store here, Mosbur's at the corner of Rob and Airline was there. I believe there's a business across the street. And then there was basically nothing else on Airline Boulevard. This was a 2-lane highway. Mm-hmm. We used to, my brother and I used to take, my mother would get us little ring binders, and we would, just for something to do, we'd go down and we'd write down license plate numbers and what state they were from. And you didn't have to be in a hurry. Oh, well, there's another. I mean, it's not exactly like it is now, okay? We used to get a lot of our 100-pound feed in print bags, cotton print bags. Mm-hmm. And when the people came to town on the weekend, or to the area, of course they were going downtown. This was still rural, but they would buy their feed, and if they wanted a couple 100 pounds of, say, hog middlings, they would also pick out the print that they wanted, the print bag, so they could make curtains or a shirt or whatever out of that. And invariably, it's like my wife going to Joann's Fabrics. It was always a print on the bottom, so you had to take everything out. And all these 100-pound bags. You've got to the bottom, and then they say, that wasn't exactly what I was looking for, so you'd have to put them back. But so that was part of the deal. It was about as rural as you can get. I was here when Mid-City was built. Mid-City was a destination. You couldn't get a parking place in there. I remember lines of people backed up out of Santa's little village over there for Christmas, and the restaurants and the cleaners and W.T. Grant's, and then that became Kmart. We've gone through the whole cycle, and then over a number of years, a lot of businesses moved into other areas, and this area started to decline some, and Mid-City started to decline, and then we started seeing some regrowth, some areas being torn down and remodeled, new homes, new houses. Of course, with Walmart being built across the street, that helps to bring credibility to the area. We have more people coming in. Now with the new Kroger that they're building over here, and Chick-fil-A, there was a time when it didn't seem to be the safest place in the world, but we're seeing all of that image change.
What is the future looking like? What do you imagine for the future of the business?
Based on this last year, we had quite a bit of growth this last year, and as long as we stay interested in what our customers are interested in, herbs. We have such a large spread of herbs, or tomatoes. We've always had maybe 20, 30 varieties of tomatoes, but now we're doing a lot of heirlooms. People are they're really concerned, a lot of them, about GMOs, genetically engineered things. They don't want genetically engineered seed. That's one of the first things I did this spring was I checked with our 4 major seed suppliers, and I said, I need to know what your stand is on GMOs, and all of them came back and said, we don't do that. And I was able to post that, and our customers see that that's a concern for us because it's a concern for them. So trying to be to people what they want us to be, and trying to be fair. We try to meet people's expectations, and that's going to keep the business growing or not. We're small in the realm of things, I look at Lowe's down the street. We've got Walmart across the street, the Kroger. You could look at that in a real negative light and say, as I said a while ago, about you cut the pie up so many pieces, it's going to get smaller and smaller. Or you could be what you're good at and try to help people and try to be what they need, and the business will come. I tell people I've never had a lot of money, but I've been rich all my life. I've had a lot of acquaintances. I had a family that has always been caring, and so I know a lot more about riches than just money. Okay, so I'm very thankful to be here.
Next on Portsmouth Insights, we'll visit one of Midtown's oldest and most picturesque neighborhoods, Waterview. That's coming up after this message.
At our house, we really like to maximize family time. That's why our favorite place for family fun is Old Town Portsmouth. We love taking the ferry over, then strolling through unique shops filled with one-of-a-kind treasures. Next, it's on to a great lunch at an outdoor cafe and an afternoon of fun with friends at the Children's Museum of Virginia and the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame and Museum. Food, fun, and adventure? No wonder Old Town Portsmouth is our go-to destination for family fun.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. I'll teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
Welcome back to Portsmouth Insights and a look at the Midtown area of Portsmouth. Waterview is one of the city's most picturesque neighborhoods. With many homes dating to the 1920s, it's one of Midtown's oldest neighborhoods. Situated along the western branch of the Elizabeth River, it features some beautiful waterfront properties. Waterview also boasts a very active Civic League. We visited the neighborhood's park area on the last Saturday in October when the Civic League's annual Autumn Festival was in full swing. And we found several people there who were more than happy to step before our cameras and tell us why Waterview is an ideal place to live.
I'm Trish Jansen. I'm president of the Waterview Civic League, and today we are having our Water Boo Fall Festival. and we have a bunch of great events going on, including chili cook-off. We have the police horse. We have Coast Guard Auxiliary here today to do some boater education. So a lot of fun games for the kids, and it's just a great event for the neighborhood.
Okay. John Gresham, I'm the Vice President of the Waterview Civic League. I've been here for 11 years. I'm a lifelong resident of Portsmouth, grew up here, went to the old Churchland High School, lived many different places here in the city of Portsmouth. Came to Waterview because in Portsmouth you can get a lot of good, nice real estate for the price compared to some of the areas in this region.
So I have lived here for about a year and a half. Moved from Arlington, Virginia, and before that I lived in Cleveland, and before that I lived in California, and I grew up actually in Connecticut. But I'm here living in this area I'm in the Coast Guard, so we move around a lot. And Waterview was a great neighborhood that we were able to buy a house in and moved here. And it was just such a great community that it was just fun to get involved with the Civic League and put on great events like this and get to know our neighbors in the short time that we're going to have an opportunity to live here.
Most of the homes here are probably over 75 years old. So there's a lot of character to them. They really hold up really well. It's interesting, our house still has the original slate roof on it, and it's 75 years old. So that's pretty neat.
Actually, what's really cool about this neighborhood is we have a lot of older homes, and some of those homes are actually the Sears kit homes, so there's some history to them and stuff.
The houses, they're all different. Some are brick, some are wood siding, some have cedar shakes on the side, but they're all a little bit different, and they all have their own special character. So many of them have hardwood floors, and a few even have basements. We have alleyways, which are really great because that's where all the utilities come in, and you have your little garage in back. They don't build houses now like they did 75 years ago. Some of the little details that they put in houses years ago that they seem to have forgotten about, you can find here.
Our house was cute, we liked it, it's affordable, but it's also in a nice neighborhood with a lot of great people close to work, so it's a great neighborhood to kind of settle down in if you could be close to work but just want to live around a great community with a lot of great people and events and everything else we have going on.
Today we're having the Waterview Fall Festival, and that is a play on our name. We wanted to try and get people involved to meet their neighbors and to get involved in our Civic League. And we felt one of the best ways is to have a gathering where we can all get together and know it's something fun. Because a lot of people don't want to go to a Civic League meeting because a lot of times it might be all about business. So we want to try and show everyone that it's not about business, it's about getting to know your neighbors and how we can make Waterview and the city of Portsmouth a little bit better by getting involved in one another's lives, being there in the good times and the bad times, and willing to help out if something breaks, sometimes watching each other's kids. Especially in this neighborhood with a lot of military, as our president, Trish, she's in the Coast Guard. A lot of times when you move to this area, you don't have family nearby. And so that gives you a great opportunity to come to the neighborhood and make some instant connections. And it is interesting, there was one of our neighbors lived across the street from us. She actually moved out of the neighborhood to a place over in Western Branch. She was there probably 2 or 3 years and ended up moving back in the neighborhood because she said she missed the closeness she had with the neighbors here.
You know, we put on this event today because we wanted to promote the fact that families are here and kids can get to know each other, and that's one of the great things about this neighborhood is people with kids or families can come in and get involved and get to know one another. That's the most important thing, is getting to know each other, because when you know your neighbors, you do things like prevent crime, like prevent bad things from happening, and you look out for one another. So that's why we have events like this, so we can all get to know each other, look out for each other, and also have fun together.
So there's a lot of nice things about the neighborhood. One of the things we like is the variety of the people that are here. Across the street there's a retired widower. Next door to us there's a couple of people in the Navy with a little kid. Across the street there's a young married couple with no children. Down the road, 2 doors down, there's a couple, their kids grew up in the neighborhood and have moved out. So there's just a whole great spectrum of different people that are here. Getting to know everyone in this neighborhood really helps it make so you have that feeling of family. Even though you're not related, but you come home, you wave to your neighbors, you say hi. We several times will have barbecues at our house and invite neighbors over. We borrow cups of sugar from everyone else. So it's a really great place to get to know some people. We have a lot of Navy people on our street. A lot of times are doctors or nurses at the Navy hospital. So they'll come in, they'll be here for 2 or 3 years and then they'll move out. But they really seem to enjoy moving into this neighborhood and becoming part of the family here at Waterview.
I'm fortunate that I actually ride my bike to work every day, which is not, I don't think, a common thing in this area, but you know, if you live close enough and you can make it happen, it's something you can do.
I like being near the water. It's nice. My family and I, we go walking, ride our bikes near the water on the Elizabeth River. So that makes it a really nice place to live.
Waterview is an awesome place to live. There's great people here. We have great events with the Civic League, and it's a beautiful neighborhood with lots of fantastic homes that they can get in on.
You'll always see people walking through the neighborhood, people biking and walking their pets, and you'll see kids playing, riding their bikes. So it's a great place to come and just become part of something bigger than yourself.
As you know, Portsmouth Insights is brought to you by the Portsmouth Department of Economic Development. So that you can understand and better appreciate the role of the department, we're inaugurating on this episode of Insights a new feature. At the close of each episode, the department's new director, Charles Chuck Rigney, will answer specific questions about the department's work. Recently, Chuck met up with us at the beautiful Renaissance Waterfront Hotel in Old Town to talk about the importance of attracting new retailers to the city and of the role that the Department of Economic Development plays in that process.
My name is Chuck Rigney and I'm the new Economic Development Director here in the City of Portsmouth. The question of the day is, why do we attract retail into the City of Portsmouth? And it's pretty simple. First of all, we have 100,000 people here in the city that are wanting to make sure that they have the kind of retail operations that they really enjoy going to, and the need to go to supermarkets and the dry cleaners and all of that kind of business is certainly important for the residents of the City of Portsmouth. But we also have to attract people into the city from the tourism side of the house. For example, here at this beautiful hotel, we want tourists to come into our downtown, and in our downtown we certainly have a lot of eclectic retail. We've got art galleries, bars and restaurants, all other kinds of nice specialty type of retail that doesn't exist anywhere else in this region. And if we can get those tourist dollars by bringing in additional retail, it's very important for the City of Portsmouth to be able to capture that as well. How we do it is pretty simple. We go out and market ourselves at conventions and places like the International Shopping Center show coming up here next month in New York City. And by that, what we will do is go up there and talk about some really nice packages and amenity sites that we have. For example, a 2-acre site adjacent to the Bayside Harley-Davidson dealership. Already a destination location. We think this is really going to be a very hot topic of discussion at this show next month. That's right down the street from our new Kroger supermarket, which is fantastic, and it's just recently opened up and doing extremely well. And the most recent addition to that center is the new TJ Maxx that's coming in the springtime. There's going to be some other really exciting announcements coming up out of that area very shortly, so we've asked you to stay tuned. We also advertise in things like trade magazines, and we go on shows like this, and we are always out there telling the Portsmouth story. So that's why and how important it is that retail in Portsmouth is getting our message out, and making sure that people understand what Portsmouth is all about. And we do that successfully, and I think we're going to have really tremendous success over the next couple of years here.
That's our show for today. As we've seen, retail in Portsmouth is experiencing exciting growth. The city is also home to many of the region's oldest and most respected stores and businesses. And beautiful, affordable homes are available throughout the city. But don't take my word for it, or the word of any of our guests on the show today. Instead, come to Portsmouth for yourself and see what all the talk is about. I'm Rob Lauer. Join us next time for another episode of Portsmouth Insights.